Everybody, thanks for watching. And just a quick reminder that Ancient Religion Volume 2 is now available on Zoroastrianism. And as I stated before, that video comes with two videos. The second video is my third video talking about the coronavirus and 5G, which a lot of people have seemed to forgotten about because of everything that's been going on. So remember, you guys definitely want to take advantage. This will be the last week for these sales. So you guys can basically take advantage of the payment plans. There's a couple of different payment plans for Never Pay Again and Lifetime Membership. These will disappear after this week. They will no longer be available. So you definitely want to start the plan as soon as possible. The app is coming soon and everything is coming with the app, and those plans will disappear and the prices will be a lot different. So definitely take advantage of it now while you guys still can. And I appreciate you guys' support on this. But, we're getting a lot of questions about everything that's taking place. And of course, I get it, I understand. You guys are looking at this and you're like, what the fuck's going on? Because it seems as if everybody is starting to wake up to racism. And you have to look at the way the narrative is being played out with the news media. And you can see it in sports. And it seems like, eureka, everybody's starting to finally see what we have been talking about for decades. The racism in America and, all of the protests that we're seeing and the people coming together talking about racism. And we've been talking about this since the 50s, the 40s, 30s. Civil rights movement was a big deal. Everything we've seen in the civil rights movement with people being beaten and everything, it was public. So much stuff was put on display. It was a clear-cut point that this country was not for the black man, that this country was against black people and our progression. Clear as day, you can see it. So it's like now all of a sudden, George Floyd, this man gets killed, and now all of a sudden, eureka, everybody's awakening to the fact that, hey, we're being mistreated, we're being killed by cops, and now we want to basically go back and look at what Kaepernick took a knee for and apologize for not listening to him back then. And you guys smell bullshit, as you should. So everything that I have been talking about in my videos, it's coming true. I've been getting a lot of emails from people like, man, you said this years ago. And it's a video I want you guys to watch to really get a more deeper understanding of this. And that is consciousness, carbon melanin, and the matrix of reincarnation. If you are a member of Merkabah Academy, free or paid, go to your profile page, scroll down. That video is right there for free. You guys can watch that video and they give you a deeper understanding of what I'm talking about here. But if you've seen it already and a lot of my other videos, then you understand. So, I tell people your questions are answered. I always get a lot of questions. I know there's a lot of videos I put out, but if you watch the videos, you know everything. You're up to date. You can see where this stuff is heading and what they have to do and what's going to happen. So nothing is surprising me with this, but I know it's surprising a lot of people because you're looking at this and it's like, the hell is going on? You're talking about resurrections, and a lot of people is just looking at it and saying, you know what, this is just a distraction from coronavirus. And they're going to keep this up because this is the best thing to use to distract people from the virus. And meanwhile, while the distraction is going on, they're reopening things and people are going out, into the economy and put money back into the economy and so on and so forth. And it's like, what's going to happen? And as I talked about in those videos, you got to be careful, especially if you are at risk for, this stuff, this virus, so-called virus. To make sure that you're healthy and you know how to take care of yourself, and you don't know what's being sprayed on people and what's being put out there while people are going back out and shopping and being involved in things, normal things. We don't know what's taking place behind the scenes or what they're doing, if they're doing anything. But what's taking place as far as the racism in America coming to the light seemingly, and all these protesters and people waking up, it's definitely something that's going to have a lot of people scratching their heads. So you have a lot of people apologizing to Kaepernick because everybody's seen the destruction. that took place, the looting and everything. And it's like people are asking the question, you know, why can't they peacefully protest? You know, and that's what Kaepernick tried to do. Took a knee, shut up, didn't break nothing, was not doing anything against the troops or whatever they're talking about, and this all happened. And I told you guys how I feel about the whole thing with Colin Kaepernick. Like, I'm on the fence with all of it. I don't trust none of that shit because it's all weird to me. I look at it all suspect because, like I said, right before that whole thing happened with him, there was a commercial he had where everybody hated him. So it's funny how, you know, things came true with his situation. So I always look at everything suspect. You know, you can say conspiracy theories or what, so on and so forth. But it's, you know, I don't believe in coincidence when things are that obvious. So that's one thing. But then when you look at that, followed by everything that has taken place afterwards, leading up until today, you know, it's all suspect. And it's an agenda behind it, certainly. So, but you're seeing all this and a lot of people putting up pictures and videos and everything with George Floyd, you know, Masonic connection, you know, his kid's middle name being Mason, and, you know, it happening on 33rd Street, and him supposedly have the Masonic tattoo on his chest. Stephen Jackson calling him twin, and it's happening in the Twin Cities. So much stuff that makes the whole thing really suspect and questionable. But, you know, people are scratching their heads and they're like, you know, what is going on? Because I've never seen so much ass kissing of black people lately. You know, Pelosi and them coming out with the African print scarves and taking a knee, and the sports world, you know, every time you turn on ESPN, they're talking about, you know, George Floyd and, you know, what took place. There's a lot of people that have been killed by cops, innocent people. And we have blown up the situation, as we rightfully should, about the cops killing so many people. You know, talked about it, so Sandra Bland, I mean, all these people. Never once have you seen so many celebrities, you know, come and take part in a funeral like with George Floyd. All these celebrities and athletes show up to this man's funeral. Where were these people before? Where was this whole, you know, concern for Black lives after Kaepernick took a knee? It's not like Kaepernick took a knee and this is the first time we've seen a cop kill another black man since Kaepernick took a knee. There was a lot of people that died after he took that knee and after they basically banned him and blackballed him. Where was all this? Now all of a sudden now we have this. So, you know, you guys, it's a lot to understand. It's a lot to get into involving all this. And, you know, that video that I put on you guys' profile page at the bottom on merkabahacademy.com is a good place to start, you know. And you got to understand, you know, what this stuff is coming to and what's ahead. And you got to look at, as I said, with 5G, everything that 5G is getting ready to bring. This could all very well be a distraction. They could be genuine in what they're saying. Who knows? But of course, anybody that's conscious is going to be skeptic, rightfully so, because this is all stuff that's like, you know, real sketchy. And we know how trends go. So you have all the sports talking about it. You have celebrities harping on it. All these commercials and, you know, memes and celebrities posting stuff and everybody just coming out and giving speeches and just talking about racism. It's trending. The trending thing right now is to talk about racial stuff and apologize or, you know, offer some kind of solution, and trends, they go. As soon as the next big thing comes, if this is a distraction, something else is going to come, take people's mind off of this. The media will pound on that and this will just go away and it'll be back to normal until a cop kills somebody else. But you have to understand, the cops, they have been killing unarmed black men and women, and it's just not blowing up by the media. It's just not happening. So also wanted to address, I talked about this on my Instagram. So many black people saying, well, how come we don't march like this and loot when a black person kills a black person? And as I put on my Instagram, we do. We don't loot, but we do march. We do protest. There have been many marches and protests and stop the violence and increase the peace and stop the hate and stop killing each other, kings killing kings, so on and so forth, that have taken place in the black community. I've been involved in quite a few. We had a lot of them in Philadelphia. And we have been, since I can remember, in the 90s, going back to the 90s, marching. I talked about this in a previous video. You've been marching, you know, and Philly used to come through our block in this van with a casket on the top and just plead to the people to stop killing each other. So this is something that's not blown up in the media, and it's not given a week-long coverage, and it's not talked about as much as people protesting for a white cop killing a black person. I addressed this in my previous video, but so many people are correct in looking at this whole thing and, you know, being skeptical about the situation. And it's like almost, you know, out of hand at this point. And people are worried, like, you know, what y'all got up your sleeve? Like, what are you guys actually trying to do? Because I know you ain't trying to do this shit. You know, y'all ain't trying to fix things. I could have did this a long time ago. So what is the real agenda behind this whole thing? What is the actual plan behind all of this? What trick or catch-22? You got, you know, Robert Johnson coming out saying give black people $350,000 and, you know, $14 trillion, you know, deficit to the American economy. And people are like, well, they're going to fucking give black people all this money, and then the economy's going to crash and the dollar's going to crash, and they're going to blame it on black people. This is something they talked about last year about reparations for black people, and they've been harping on this thing for a while. And it's one of those things where, you know, we're talking about 40 million black people, and, you know, how would you do this? You know, to me, every black person is owed something. Every African, every black person, our lives have been directly impacted by slavery. And that whole argument, you know, people say, you know, none of us were slaves, and no white person living today has owned slaves, but we can prove 100% that our lives have been affected by slavery, which after slavery laws was created to keep us separate, to keep us from rising as black people. We beat that. We had Black Wall Street, they burned that to the ground. We kept moving. At every point in history where we had a chance to move up, you know, Marcus Garvey was like, okay, well, they must don't want us here, let's go. You look at the 14th Amendment, and it's talking about, hey, if you want to be a citizen, if you're claiming citizenship, then we can't give you reparations. If you go to jail, you're going to be a slave again. So we're looking at all this and we're like, we need to go back home, we need to go to Africa. And then you have black people that say, well, wait a minute, we was here before, you know, anybody. So this is our land. We can prove that. That's already been proven by their white scientists, researchers. So every step of the way that we tried to make progress, they stopped that. They hindered that in some way. We tried to dress like them, talk like them, act like them, fit in, whatever we could do. We took beatings. We took our leaders being murdered and killed. We took so much. People spitting in our face while we're trying to shake their hand. People spitting in our face while we're trying to call them brother and just ask to be treated equal. We took it. We didn't seek revenge. We didn't retaliate. We took the shit. You know, you wanted us to stand and salute a flag that represents our enslavement and represents us losing everything to you. We saluted that flag. We fought for that flag. We fought to free you from your oppressor in King George III. We did everything and then some to try to, you know, fit in and look at where we are. And it's like all of that, and then now all of a sudden, you know, y'all act like y'all get it. Y'all act like y'all understand, you know, what's been taking place that we've been harping on, and you can see clear throughout history. Every Black History Month, we're talking about the shit y'all did to us. And then now, all of a sudden, y'all want to be like, oh, it happened. And there is police brutality and racism in America. Like, what the? Yeah, it's suspect. It's all suspect. So we can look at all of that, and we can show, because of slavery, we had racism. We had white people feeling guilty and not wanting to even be around us. We had them being miseducated by this government, by this system, as to who we truly are. And because of this miseducation of white America, allowing them to believe that we somehow are a mutation of animals, and that the Bible says that, man has dominion over animals. So, somehow these white people should have dominion over us and do to us what they see fit because we somehow are animal-like. This is what they believed back then. You have them being miseducated and believing that we're somehow, not human. We don't have a soul, and so on and so forth. And because of this miseducation by this government system, to white America, we have been, put through so much. The racism and everything else has been a direct result of their miseducation, and had the correct education been put out to white America as to who we really are and our true history, things would have been different. So when you take a public, something public like movies, and put it out to the masses, showing our ancient, civilizations as being white. Everything that is good is white. All superheroes is white. And you put into the minds of white America that everything that's good is white. Everything that's black is bad. You create all these words and terms showing blackness in a negative light. Dark means you went dark, you're evil. Black, bald. All those terms that we know about, that's taking blackness and putting it in a negative context, and it's subliminal, and it sits in the minds of people and showing us as being something other than normal. So we have a history stemming all the way back from slavery, creating racism, creating this hatred, creating systems to keep us oppressed, to keep us from rising up, backed up by this government, funded by this government, and, allowing the system to basically exist to where black people can't get ahead while white America flourishes. And these people for centuries have had the freedom without any oppression at all, none whatsoever, to make billions and trillions of dollars because of us. And we've been feeding their economy, for centuries. So yeah, reparations, it's nothing they can give us to make up for all that. Nothing. No dollar amount can make up for all that. It's a start, and a lot of us will take it, but they don't have the money to pay us all, plain and simple. So to put $14 trillion on the debt of this country to pay reparations to black people is something I don't see happening. And if it does happen, I don't think it will destroy the economy, because we all know that money is going to go right back to the economy, because we need psychological healing more than we need financial healing, because with psychological healing, we can create financial gain on our own. We can create, black economics on our own. We just need the mindset to be in the correct mindset to understand how to do that without being, pounded every day with all this mind control and this hip hop culture and the stuff that's destroying us. We'll flourish on our own, and they know that, but they don't want that, because that means, we'll be over them. And we was headed in that direction before hip hop, emerged, which is why we got hip hop in private prisons and so on and so forth, as I talk about. But yeah, we're getting you guys questions, and I wanted to address this whole thing. And as I said, more videos will come, and definitely watch the video that's on Merkabah Academy just to get an idea, understanding. A lot of you guys seen it already, so you understand what I'm talking about and the direction it's headed in. But it's a lot more to this, and it's a lot more with 5G that you guys, as I said, just don't understand how big that's going to be. But I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Thanks to everybody who supported. I kept that payment plan thing up for as long as I can, and because things are about to progress to like a bigger stage, that will change. So I'm telling y'all, I've been keep trying to tell y'all. I've been, you know, trying to be, you know, as fair as possible to get this stuff out. Stuff's taking long, and everybody knows what happened with Corona. And but trust me, you want to be on here. You want to be on Merkabah Academy. You want to definitely stay tuned to what's coming and be a part of all of that, because it's going to be needed, especially when this whole thing is done and what's going to happen. So you'll see. Yeah, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next video.